There was a whole clique of Cali cats that they had their own channels.
Yeah.
But they supported each other. They was featured, like she would go on some of their shows. They would go on some of her shows. They all had their own individual voices and stuff made, but they still at least showed up to support each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Listen, welcome to the Ross Cloud Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Ross, and this platform was created to motivate and to inspire, and hope that you will become a better you. I'd like to give a shout out to everybody that's listening all over the world. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Ross Cloud Podcast. Listen, do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button as you're watching. Listen, we have our very, very special guest with us here on the day. We have the one and only T. Smith in the building. What's happening, T?
What's up, man? What's going on?
Man, hey, man, it's all good, man. You know, first of all, man, you are absolutely an amazing individual. I was so honored, man. I know what you're saying, but I was honored that you reached out, man. And it's a big deal to know somebody that's has such a footprint in the culture the way you do. It's absolutely beautiful. You've been behind the scenes on some amazing, this plethora, this body of work that you have. Yeah. It's been absolutely amazing. If you would, man, kind of tell the folks where you're from and what you do.
All right. My name is Theron Smith. I go by T. Smith. Smith, S-M-I-F, because from Brooklyn, so
no
Smith
doubt.
turned to Smith. I don't even know what to call myself. And maybe you can even help me with that,
I
man.
got you.
It's like, you know, when you do so many things, and you get your hands in so many creative things, you don't know. Like I said, we was talking about earlier, T-shirts. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
I style, I edit.
Right.
And then there's eras of things. So it's like, in this era, I was this, and in this era, I was that. So it's like, I don't know what to, per se, I guess media, something.
Hey, man.
You know what I mean? But like my story is started off in Brooklyn in the industry. Started interning with Spike back in '94 on Clockers.
Got you. Oh,
I gotta even take it a step back. Boy. I gotta take it a little step back.
That's golden era. You said Clockers.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, long story short, about what sparked or my core is that my father's a photographer. And so I grew up watching him in the bathroom.
Old school joint.
Old school chemicals, developing film.
Yeah.
That was my introduction into photography.
Wow.
And dealing with the lens is, them times with my pops. And then, like I said, my step pops and my grandpops put the video camera in my hand. So that's when that moved from photography to motion photography.
Yeah, began.
Right? And so all through high school, I was running around in the hood with this big old video camera.
That's what it was, though.
Yeah, East New York.
Man.
Luckily, nobody ever messed with me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess they saw something that I'd leave them alone. But then, it was still interesting. You don't usually see somebody with a video camera in 1990. But anyway, so I started shooting early. I didn't know what a videographer or cinematographer was or anything like that. I just, this is what I was interested in, playing around, making little movies with my model cars. I used to do models and stuff. And then after high school, I had an opportunity to go on tour with Fushnikins. That was the first thing I ever did, per se.
Got you,
professionally in the industry. Yeah. Right after graduation, went right on tour with Fushnikins. And so that jumped me right in out of high school.
Yeah.
1992, that was 1990 into 91. 92, I was working at a sneaker store out in East New York. And my manager, the owner of the sneaker store at the time, Hot 97 was the thing. So it was like,
yes, sir.
He was buying ads on the radio station. At the time, it was Ed Lover and Dr. Dre was the morning show.
Classic.
And Hot 97 at the time.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So he was buying ads from Hot 97. So one day, Dr. Dre, I guess he was rolling around. He came through the store to get some sneakers.
Sure.
New complimentary sneakers. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta have it.
I remember he brought Regina King with him.
Oh,
That was
man.
the first time I saw Regina King. This was like right after Boys in the Hood.
Ah, gotcha.
Beautiful eyes, man.
Sure. Yeah, she does.
And so he was talking about, at the time they was shooting this movie, him and Dr. Dre, him and Ed Lover. And it was Who's the Man?
I remember Who's the Man. I remember Who's the Man. Yeah.
So wound up getting an extra on Who's the Man. I gotta even jump back.
Come on, go back for us.
1991. This is where it started. Okay, I'm getting my stories together.
Gotcha.
1991 in college, after high school, after doing Fushnickers, 1991.
Did you meet Shaq, by the way?
Shaq?
During that time?
No.
I know he was a huge fan of
I only
Fushnickers.
went to like Massachusetts, more the East Coast up
okay,
and down
gotcha.
with them.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like a couple of dates type thing.
Okay, gotcha.
But I mean, out of high school,
I got you. Big deal.
Videos,
I mean, Fushnickers.
I'm basically, I started my videography career in 1991. If I have to really date it like that, now that I put it all together. But going back, 1991, I was at school at Baruch College. A couple of friends were going to, Spike was doing Malcolm X.
Yeah.
And he had I can say he had a hard time, but wrangling thousands and thousands of people to be extras,
that's a lot,
was a daunting task.
Absolutely.
So they was just taking people in. So I was assigned, but I went with my friends to a set they was going on one day. The very same day that happened. By the way, footnote: Magic Johnson announced he had HIV. That was the same day. I remember because it was in the newspaper.
Wow.
But anyway, so we went to set. They let me in.
Man, what was that like? What was that energy like? Like, what was that moment like? I mean, it
was a catalyst for me because up to that point, having been a photographer, having been and had done some videography stuff.
Sure.
Before that, just being interested in photography stuff, Spike was coming out. She Gotta Have It. Then School Days. Once School Days came into my mind frame, that's when the idea of filmmaker and being a filmmaker actually rooted itself into my soul. Went to see School Days for the first time at 15 by myself. That was the first time I ever went to a movie theater by myself, and I saw School Days. So I walked out of School Days now with a whole new direction. Like I never heard of a black filmmaker that looked close to me from Brooklyn. All the similarities and stuff. Now a pathway was formed into a possibility. You know what I'm saying? So up to that point, Spike was my, I idolized that dude at that point.
Absolutely.
So to get on Malcolm X, as an extra, was a catalyst. It was a catalyst. First time on a set. First time seeing a film set. First time experiencing what this was. I got in at like 4 in the afternoon. I didn't get on set till 4 that morning. And that's how long.
Oh, wow.
But anybody's been on a film set,
that's what it
12, 10 to 12 to even in some cases 16 hours.
16, that's what it is.
So, but I didn't know that until that.
I got you.
But either way, I was just
glad
I'm on Spike Lee set, and it's Malcolm X.
Right.
So we getting fitted for period clothing, all this. I'm just watching sets here.
It's a beautiful thing.
Around. I'm just trying to.
Beautiful thing.
This is what I wanted. What I mean?
Man.
We can get into look at that shit. We can get into this
manifest, right?
At some point, But
these are the words that I manifest. I manifest. All right, my bad. Go ahead.
So get on set. It's a scene on 125th Street. He had an old train, old cars.
Wow.
From the what was it, 50s or 60s?
Yeah.
I'm just
blown away.
I had to be about like 20. Probably about. No, I was about 19.
19, man.
18 and 19.
Yeah.
And then Spike comes on set, seeing Spike Lee for the first time. Like, interestingly enough, seeing these guys walking around from the crew wearing these purple jackets,
right?
Juice on it.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that was. Now, if you know anything about Juice, you know that Ernest Dickerson, his DP, directed Juice. So his DP that was on set, setting up the shots, had already done Juice by that time, but it wasn't released.
Wow.
So I'm seeing people walking around these Juice crew jackets. I'm like, what the hell is Juice? But anyway, so yeah, man, I'm already on high. Walking around, put me on set.
You're around all that history, too, culture, just
you know. I know that I'm amongst something
huge,
you know, thing. Big dude who wound up being really close with Mike Ellis. He was if you know anybody in the game knows Mike Ellis, but met him. He placed me and my homegirl who was there from school, placed us right here in the train station. Boom, when we sitting there, like I said, I'm high. They bring this actor over. He had this purple suit on, big purple hat.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention at first. Homegirl tapped me. She was like, "This Denzel is not even Malcolm. He was Detroit Red.
He was Red. He was his nickname, right? In character.
And so, see how we are right here?
Yeah, you was
Denzel's
that close.
Right here.
It's beautiful, man.
Mine, this is my first time on any set. I'm already hyped seeing Spike.
Come on, man.
Denzel right there. So we shot that scene for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So my first experience in the film was on Spike Lee set on Malcolm X. And in the scene, and you go to that scene when Denzel comes to New York for the first time, jumps off the train, the purple suit, and comes out the door.
Yeah.
You see me literally walk out the door right next to him. You know what I'm saying? So
dope,
I
man.
have that. I have that.
Absolutely. It'll be right here for the rest of your life. Yeah,
you know
man.
what I mean? So from that up to now, Who's a Man? I'm an extra in Who's a Man, and I got cool with the casting people, which is a deeper story.
Sure.
So I'm in multiple days, multiple sets.
Right.
This club scene and this walking in the hood scene in Harlem and this and that. So I'm now it's like, okay, from Malcolm X to Who's the Man. I had stopped school to do. I went back to school, college.
Yeah.
Was about to finish up, and then an opportunity in '94 came to intern on Clockers.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I got into an internship. It's more details involved up to it, but just to make the story go forward, like up to that point, intern on Clockers, and that's when like official career. I would say my career started in '91 with Malcolm X. Not even that with Fushnikins, but I got in interning on Clockers, and then from there, Clockers, Get on the Bus, He Got Game, Summer Sam, Bamboozled, Inside Man, Miracle St. Anna. I'm forgetting one or two other movies, but those are all the Spike.
You had
Woo. I worked on Woo.
That
was
Woo,
John
right?
Singleton was the executive producer. So that's when I first met John Singleton for the first time. He was the executive producer on Woo. So, and that during that shoot, Tupac got killed. So interesting enough to bring the hip hop on Woo shoot. Tupac got shot, and then a week later, I remember he died. That was on Woo set. Jada Pinkett was a star of that movie.
Absolutely.
Remember, they was close. So I was around seeing how that was going down. And then we was working on Amistad in Rhode Island. Newport, Rhode Island.
Yes.
Amistad, Steven Spielberg, when Biggie passed.
Got you, yes.
So I was out in Rhode Island. I hated being out there, not in Brooklyn. I didn't get to go see the funeral, the whole thing. You know? Anybody that know me,
Brooklyn, I
was Mr. Brooklyn.
Absolutely, I got
I'm here in Greensboro now. But,
you're in Greensboro
Mr.
now.
Brooklyn when I was out there.
Yeah.
And so those are interesting facts. But back to
that's great stuff though for a cinema photographer to say, I got my start shooting, Fushnikins, and then look at the body of work that came after that, man. These films, I mean, they go down in history. Even today, they're still being watched. So that's a beautiful thing, man. But go ahead, I digress.
I was right. So I have different eras that I was in. So the era of black filmmaking in the 90s, I was right in the middle of that because I was in 40 Acres family. Like I was 40 Acres.
Got you.
But aside from that, in between the movies, we were doing music videos.
Okay, understood.
So we started working with Hype Williams, Chris Robinson, Paul Hunter, Little X, Benny Boom started up. I remember the day Little X shot his first video. We was right in the middle.
Got you.
Of Spike and Hype, like right in the middle, all of that. I worked on Biggie's One More Chance video shoot. I got pictures, and mind you, I got receipts for everything I'm telling you right now. I got my pictures from that and that. I'm actually putting together an exhibit, but that's another story.
I got you, yeah. Oh, I know you're official now. You know, I never questioned that. So you're good. But I get it, though.
Yeah.
For the sake of, for the cameras and microphones, sometimes you have to continue just to kind of stamp that and be like, nah, this official, though. And I got the receipts to prove it, though. No doubt.
I'm going to start telling my story. That's why we're here now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is just the beginning, though.
Yeah.
I appreciate you for, like I said, linking up and shooting. Shoot me a DM, bruh, and we here now.
So can I big you up for a second?
Sure. Go ahead, brother.
With you, Chris, real recognize real. Some people you meet in life, you just be like, I don't,
Yeah, I ain't feeling
I don't know what, why or how or whatever, but like you just meet certain people and you just be like, okay, like.
Yeah.
So just real recognize real, man. I see what you was doing out here. The podcast, shout out to Nikisha Wrights. I saw her podcast, and then I saw you did a Ninth Wonder joint.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I got to meet this dude. We both out here.
Yeah, absolutely. Right here in the borough, man.
The beauty of being in smaller towns is that, you're more connected directly with people.
Absolutely, you are.
You have more access to people.
Yes, you do.
Have access to the mayor.
Yes, you do.
Cases,
in certain cases, yeah.
Whereas like that's not New York. Like
I got you.
2 million, 3 million people.
A lot of people, man. Yeah.
So, but I just reached out to you. You know what I'm saying? And just said like I just want to link with you because your interviews are dope.
Thank you, bro.
And what makes them dope, coming from another interviewer, is just that it's having a conversation with people is an art.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean? Like it's not something everybody can do, especially with people that you just met or people you don't maybe know too much about.
Yeah,
like you get to a point when you're a good conversationalist, you can talk to anybody,
man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As long as you stick to the fundamentals of being a human being, like you can talk to anybody. You know? That's why I don't understand all this racism and all that. But anyway,
but I got you though. Yeah, I appreciate that.
That just from me to you, like I had to come link with you, man.
I appreciate
we
that
both
too.
At the same time.
Yes, sir.
Real recognize real, and I was just like, I gotta meet this dude. So.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. So, what kind of equipment are you working with right now today, man? In today's world. And then we'll get back into some more other things that you're doing too, that you've done.
Right now, I mean, I know it's not like a Red or anything like that, but my Blackmagic 4K does enough work for me, man.
And man, I hear that from so many.
I shot TV shows, I shot all types of stuff, still working. Yeah, I'll upgrade at some point. And then the thing is, if we get a big enough budget, I'm hiring a DP with that.
Oh, absolutely.
Anyway, you know what I mean? Like,
and I know a few too that would play that role, so I can definitely link you with some folks. So, definitely.
I like, if you ask my camera choice, has always been Canon.
Okay.
Canon and Nikon has like Bloods and Crips. Mac and PC people, like, it's kind of like Android and iPhone.
iPhones,
like, Nikon, Canon. But I think Canon has served a strong purpose in my whole life, from my still cameras to my video cameras. I only just got into Blackmagic, and I actually love that camera.
Really?
So, yeah, I really do. I love that. That's why I ain't give it up yet, man.
I hear so many cinematographers talk about that Blackmagic and talk about how they love it.
Level. Like, obviously, you get a good enough budget and you're doing a film or you're doing a bigger project. Yeah, I'm, get somebody with a Sony or, but hold on.
Yeah.
Get somebody with a Sony or a Red and all that other stuff. Yeah. But
I got you. Mm-hmm.
My philosophy now, man, is I'm not spending all that money when what you're doing is going 1080 to a YouTube channel or what have you. Yes, if you're putting on film, you're going on film in the screen. Yes, red. There's nothing less than all that. But the general stuff, shooting a feature or a podcast or whatever. I don't see no need for no red camera. I see people doing it, and I'm just not understanding. It's like, what you could have did with that money. You could have get your setup. Yeah. I guess when you have when you get in a certain level of clientele, you need to have that look. But all these cameras are great now.
Oh,
you know
they
what
are.
I'm saying? Like
they are.
So
they are.
I don't see the necessity of going all that. As long as you got a good strong mic, a good image, and you know how to light it.
That's it. We were just talking about that a few minutes ago. Some lighting techniques that I can use. You
can shoot with a VHS camera if you know how to light it.
If you know how to light it well,
and then it give you a certain look that whatever. So I'm not so caught up in having to have the newest camera, the newest this and that. Boom, boom. I'll leave that up. I've developed more in my later years a producer mind state over cinematographer's mind state or DP mind state.
Okay, gotcha.
I've been a cinematographer on things, a videographer. I was a videographer at MTV News, BET News, a couple of BET shows, a couple of MTV shows. I got into producing in the 2000s. So to go on to continue from the film side, I got into television.
Wow.
Damn, it's like every time I go to one thing, I got to remember something else.
Yeah, because you know what?
I didn't even talk about Fade to Black.
No, you didn't, because that's what I was going to say when we were talking before that, before we get into those, those big productions that you were a part of, when I think about just that moment you shared with me of recording Jay-Z, that moment that we all have seen, and Timbaland together working on those. I think Guru was in that shot too. I'm not sure.
That was in Miami.
That was in Miami.
Guru was in Baseline.
Okay.
That was in Miami at Hit Factory.
Okay.
Hit Factory in Miami.
Legendary place. Yeah.
It was Hit Factory in Miami.
Studio.
That day, just to reference what we're talking about, about the clip that plays every week. I go on social media.
Every week
plays somebody posting something. But it was when Timbaland played "Dirt Off Your Shoulders" for Jay-Z for the first time. He played another beat that
he did
that Ludacris wound up. Stand up.
You know what? That's right. He sure did use that. Yeah.
He played that for him first, and then
while eating fruit.
Yeah.
Drinking water, whatever it was he was drinking. Yeah.
But interestingly enough, that was that night was part of 3-4 days we were in Miami in South Beach.
Gotcha.
For him to record, he did "Dirt Off Your Shoulders." I think he recorded something else, but it didn't make the album. Okay. But then the mixing and the ad-libs and doing all that. Hove don't write, by the way.
I've heard people say that, and you a witness, so you know.
Yeah, I seen like not to go off track. But
no, I got
what
you.
He does is they play here listen to a bunch of tracks. Once a track gets his attention, he starts listening to it over and over again. Put that on repeat, and he'll sit there for like a half an hour, just sitting at the board. You see him just kind of, he's writing in his head. Yeah. And think about it. This is why I should have been an artist or something. I learned so much on that whole trip.
You did.
It's writing. It's like A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B, C, A, B, C. A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. And, you do that for half an hour. Yeah. You have a whole song written out.
Whole song. What I'm saying? Absolutely. In your head, yeah.
So that's to witness that was dope.
I'm sure it was, man. That whole moment. And you actually did a documentary on that too, didn't you? Fade to Black.
Fade. What I originally came in to document the entire making of the Black album.
Oh, gotcha.
At the time, it wasn't going to be a movie documentary, which eventually wound up being Fade to Black. But I went because I had up to that time worked with Rockefeller a couple of times. I did Jay-Z's Blueprint commercial that aired on the first BET Awards. Wow. I did Beanie Siegel's EPK. I did DJ Clue's two, what was the name of the album? Two commercials. So I've already been in the Rockefeller Def Jam system doing
I love it, man.
stuff.
I love it.
And up to that time, they were saying, you know, at the time it was supposed to be his last album.
Sure.
He was supposed to retire. So they wanted somebody that was in the circle that they could trust to come in and document the whole making of the album. So from the very beginning of the Black Album, starting when he came into the studio, start listening to beats to the very end, dropping it up to the concert. Like I documented Hove for that whole 4 months.
Yeah.
I mean, flying with him, private jet, the whole thing. I was there with him when he bought his Maybach for the first time, when he bought his Phantom for the first time. Like, Beyonce was there. Quiet. This is right when they were still keeping that a secret.
Sure.
You know, so it was a lot of, you know, I had to sign NDAs.
Oh yeah.
So it was interesting. But I think the lesson for me was seeing how he moved. Seeing how his team, how Rockefeller moved, seeing the operations of Baseline as a studio, how that was. Everybody from Beanie Sigel, Freeway, all of them in and out, Memphis Bleak, all of them watching that. That was right in the middle of when him and Dame was falling out.
Yeah.
So I was watching that go down. There was so much happening.
Yeah, you was in the midst of all of that.
4040 was up the block.
Yes,
so he was dealing with 4040.
Oh, wow.
He just did a deal. Funny enough, that was 2003.
Yes, sir.
He was having meetings with Samsung then.
Wow.
And I don't know if you remember the Magna Carta album when that came out. He had a deal with Samsung and it was on with the phones and all this other stuff. Yes, that was years later.
Yeah, that was.
So he was looking at mock-ups in 2003 already in the middle of doing the deal with Samsung then for something that happened years later. And that also showed me
he been ahead of the game.
This dude, man, he's
been ahead of it. So we shouldn't be surprised at where he is now today, especially those that were a part of that journey and that history that was being made of him becoming who he is now and his team on a whole. You know, I was just looking at an interview not too long ago on Emory Jones, who I freaking admire a great deal of, but the humility piece that comes along with Emory, I think for me is pretty dope. What he's done with Puma, I rock Pumas, I wear Pumas, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, so it's pretty dope to see how that team has evolved and they continue to evolve. You know what I'm saying?
Can I tell you something?
And that team is Trump tight.
Yeah. So to that, shout outs to Shaka, my homegirl Yelly, Dara, all of them that's behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Rockefeller. I
love that.
Rockefeller has this woman team that I feel like this should be a Hidden Figures 2 movie done on them, like
I can dig it.
That really like helped get Rockefeller to who and Jay and Hove to who they
was moving.
Become. There's always women behind doing the thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's and those were like friends of mine that just came up from hanging out in Flatbush and then they evolved into turning into rock. So that's how I was able to get into Rockefeller.
That's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
Your talent gets you in rooms, but like at the end of the day, most of it is
relationships.
It's relationships.
Yeah.
You gotta know somebody that's gonna bring you in the door, and you gotta get somebody that's gonna trust you.
I was gonna say that part too. You got to do your part. Trust too is a big thing. Just like you said, you couldn't be out here yelling in the street. Hey, I know this. Nah, man, don't take no pictures. Don't do none of that jazz, bro. Okay, we here. You working. You in the moment. You here with us, so we trust you. Let's get it.
Yeah, Tata said. He said that he was like, man, we like you because you don't talk. I don't. I was like, you know. I learned early on. Like I've been around so many people and seen so many things and seen things I probably shouldn't have
seen. But guess what? That's their business, though.
That's their business. Like I said, I was right there in the middle of when him and Beyonce was like hot in a relationship. So she's in the studio, dope girl. This whole thing when people be like, why they got together? She loved that dude. And like y'all gotta get off.
Shut the hell up.
She was in that studio. She had dropped something around that time, and she still was hanging out in that studio with him.
So I think people just need to just leave people alone. And remember that they are
a good girl.
And remember they're human. They just have a little bit more influence and a little bit more money.
Yeah.
And can move around
obviously
differently.
That was 2003. That's 20 years ago now. But so things evolved. But at that time, I mean, it was real. I don't know where that, all that. It's always funny to watch how the public perceive someone,
things. Their perception of somebody. Let me say that.
Like the real people and how they operate, and that's always intrigued me. Going back to even when I said with Denzel, just more than anything. I don't work with 3 Denzel movies already, but that first time seeing them at 19 or whatever age I was, seeing how they move, just watch it, just observe it.
Just observing the whole thing.
Give me pictures of all that, but just having the pleasure of just observing how a lot of these people in this industry move has probably been more of a lesson than just, how they made this beat or whatever. Just seeing them move as a human being.
Yeah, man.
It's always intriguing to me. You know what I mean? And I've been around a lot of people now at this point in my life.
Yeah, but I think it's good that you keep certain business and certain personal things to yourself, just as a person. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't have to know the ins and days and outs, the ins and outs of your life. You don't have to know that. You know what I'm saying? Now, if that's something you choose to do, then, hey, kudos, make your money, do your thing. No judgment here on this end. But, for people like that have, when I look at what they've done, it's been intentional. T, it's been intentional.
No, You talk about intentional. Hove is an intentional
individual.
Person. Every move. It's very, very intentional. I'm the same way.
And I think it's great. Like I said, I think it's great that you were a part of that journey. You're a part of that history, bro. That says a lot about who you are too. That they thought enough to say, "We trust you. Come on in, man, and come on, let's go, let's roll." And look at what you've been a benefactor of because of those relationships. You know what I'm saying? So it was beautiful to watch, man. And now you here in the borough now, and it's like, hey, man, let's do this. Let's do that.
Come on, and let's go. How we make it? And I lived through gentrification, so I got this battle that inside myself. I'm being very honest with you.
Sure, man.
I got this battle inside myself. I lived through gentrification. I've seen people come from other neighborhoods to somebody's neighborhood and change it up and trying to make it their way and all that other stuff. I'm not trying to do that. But I live here. I am a Greensboro resident. My business is here in Greensboro.
Absolutely.
My son goes to school here in Greensboro. I am a Greensboro resident.
I got you.
I'm committed to doing my part for this community. Any way that I could bring my talents to help anybody, with good intent.
With good intent, I got you.
I'm down. I'm a culture soldier. Like I live here. I want to live amongst dope people. You know what I'm saying? I want to live amongst dope things. You know what I'm saying? So if I can bring anything to the culture of this community, or is there anything I could lead on or be a follower of? I'm committing and giving myself to this.
Absolutely, man.
Yes, I'm from Brooklyn. And I'm gonna hold that proud.
Man, you should.
That's what it is. But
bro, that's real. You should.
I went from that borough. I'm in this borough. So I'm here to do what I came here to do. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man.
So if the
and it's beautiful to watch.
Have me, I'm.
Hey, trust me. You got a great community of cinematographers around here, filmmakers, artists. Podcasters, a lot of us are around here. It's a small group, but it's a large group. You know what I mean? It's a very, very small group. Most of us know each other. Most of us have worked together on different projects, but for the most part, everybody seems to get along just fine. Come on, man. Let's get this.
Beautiful. I've rarely seen a city that really puts its money and energy into the art community.
Yeah, they do here.
Like they do out here. So that I'm completely down with, man. destiny has this way of
it does
putting us where we supposed to be.
Yeah,
I've always moved with pure intentions in my heart, and my heart brought me here. So,
hey man, I appreciate it, man. I really do appreciate it. Again, you said you wanted to just meet me, and I said, shucks, man. By the time I read your bio, I was like, what?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But that's beautiful that you are very humble like that. We need more people like that in this world today. This world we live in, and you, sir, are definitely that. I want to talk a little bit about some of the productions you worked on, because I don't want to take light of that. That's a big deal. This journey that you've been on has been absolutely amazing. What? You go from Fushnikins, then the first thing that you do is Malcolm X. Are you serious? Like sitting on the set of that and just being around the culture of that. You know what I'm saying? Just being around that by itself with Spike Lee, with the Juice Crew, like it's such a beautiful moment. So many people wish they had that opportunity. You had that opportunity, and now look what that opportunity and those relationships have brought you to. You've been on MTV. You've worked on those productions and BET and countless of others. If you would kind of talk about a little bit of that, T, and what that's been like for you, man.
The TV side, man?
Yeah, the TV side. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, because my life is in two eras: the film side and the TV side.
Okay.
And then I'm whatever era I'm writing myself in now.
Okay, got you.
We all evolve. I just turned 50.
Okay.
So I'm more in legacy.
Yeah. Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm more in my phase of legacy.
Thank you. Yes.
Thinking about my legacy and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
But film side, like I said, I explained all of that. But then the 2000s was when I got into television. So I've always, aside from Spike, my other influence or inspiration has been Ralph McDaniels, Video Music Box.
Yes, sir. And I've heard people talk about this so much.
Yeah. Like Ralph McDaniels is, to me, now people may agree or disagree, but Ralph McDaniels to me is what Kool Herc is to hip hop. Or the videographers,
understood,
and the cinematographers, videographers, photographers of the culture.
Understood.
Ralph McDaniels is the Kool Herc of that element.
Understood.
Now, we're going to talk about that.
Yes.
Because I consider the lens an element of hip hop culture. It should be the sixth element. Or whatever number element, it just should be an element. And let me make this pitch for 2 seconds, and we get back to the question.
Sure. Go ahead. But
the DJ needle. All right, you talk about the elements of hip hop: MC, breakdancing, graffiti, DJing, knowledge. There is an unwritten fifth one. They say, but the lens. Why I'm so strong of an advocate for the lens to be one of the elements of hip hop culture is because you would not have been able to see or watch any part of the culture in its curation, in its inception, in its coming up, if it wasn't for them photographers and videographers taking them shots, the Jamel Shabazzes, the Charlie Aherns doing Wild Style. Like, if you didn't have those people, yes, it would have evolved, but what would have evolved into, or how quickly would it have evolved if a photographer didn't take a picture of a b-boy for you to see what a b-boy looks like?
That's right.
Or if you didn't see the old Park Jams videos or news, whatever it is, so just whatever you seen with your eyes, you would not have seen without the photographers and the videographers that came up in this culture.
So true.
And I'm such a hard advocate on it, especially these days, because I think people look at the photographers, videographers as a throwaway part of the art form. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like one of them things. It's like you just kind of at service at what we're trying to do now. But a photographer composes a shot. A good photographer.
Absolutely.
A good videographer composes a shot. A good videographer is messing with color temperature and all these to drive some level of emotion or what have you.
Yes.
So that, and this was there from the very inception of the culture.
Wow.
So, even now, any exhibit that you go to, any documentary you watching,
that's true,
was done by who?
That's right.
Who shot it? Somebody had to shoot it.
Somebody had to shoot it. That's right.
So why is the lens of a camera, even down to the lens of your eye, but the lens of a camera, not just as prominent as a Puma sneaker, a DJ needle, or a spray paint can?
Yes, man.
To
Yes.
the culture.
Yes.
So I'm an advocate for. That's my pitch.
I love that. I love that, man. I don't mean to cut you off, but man, I was just watching. KRS as he was talking about the Hip Hop Temple, and he brought up a lot of those bullet points where he was talking about these pictures, like hip hop. There wouldn't be hip hop without Puerto Ricans. Like, come on, let's be clear. And so on the front of that cover of that actual book that he was referencing to, they had on the Pumas with the fat laces, the Kangos. He even had the kids with the leather bombers on. But what he was talking about when he got to the leather bombers, he was saying, what did that what did the kid go through to get that though? Yeah, that's hip hop.
Yeah.
How did he get that? Like he was just going real deep into hip hop, yes, the fashion, yes, the this, but what? He got that on in the 70s? How did he get that? What's the story behind him getting that jacket? You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So, and you're from New York. You're from Brooklyn. So the city beats.
Knife told me something.
Go ahead.
To go into Knife.
Yeah.
He said it was easy for like somebody like me to get into it and all that, but he was like, we didn't see.
Nah, we didn't.
We didn't see Buckshot walking up the block in Brooklyn,
right?
And Kane on the block on the corner on like this and that because
we didn't see it.
We didn't see it. So,
but you all did though.
Yeah. So we this was. Any given time you walk around New York, you kind of could run into somebody.
And I've always heard that from people that are from the city.
If you just walk around New York City on any average day, you're going to see a movie set at some point, or if you happen to frequent where the labels are and all that, and you just kind of walk around there, you're going to see artists coming out the buildings. It's accessible.
Yeah.
So that came up to me for that point. Just so
okay. Yeah. No. I'm glad you did though, because Ninth is absolutely right. Yeah. For us in North Carolina, first of all, the hip hop community in North Carolina is so large. Like it's huge.
It's dope. Like hip hop out here in North Carolina is so dope, man.
It is, man.
I know, like people. Say that I have my little piece in there because
sure.
bringing Knife to Hove, but there's a very distinct hip hop culture here in North Carolina, man, and
it's huge.
It needs to really. I don't have the answers because I know people have always been asking like, what do we need to do? What do we need to do? You got your J. Cole's and stuff, but even that what I see and what I feel, I don't see it still yet.
Yeah, I know.
Little Brother is like,
I'll be honest with you. Ninth is it. We get, like you said, we got J. Cole, we got Rhapsody, like we got the Baby. Petey Pablo did his thing in his era, in his time, and I'm sure there's more. I just remember vividly when I was in college down in Charlotte. I remember, man, coming to Central's homecoming or Shaw's homecoming, and we see Black Sheep. We see Leaders of the New chilling. That was probably like our only moments, though. Yeah. But those were huge moments for us that grew up in this area where every now and again we would see the Fushnikins down in this area. But it was a big deal for us. If you were over in the Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill area, Shaw, North Carolina Central, then yes, you got a smidget, but to nice points, we didn't see them every day.
Yeah.
You had to go to like a homecoming or something like that. Tribe Called Quest would probably be playing there, and they might hang out on the university. But for us, it was like, wow, you know, it was a big deal. Unlike up top, it was like, oh yeah, he stayed right down the street from me.
So that's how we could take it. We could wind up taking some of them things for granted. I'll admit that. But
I didn't mean to get off the beaten path, but go ahead, bro. You know, go ahead and continue, man.
No, so where were we at? And you got to keep me in line because, bro, like, as you asking me these questions, you can see me. It's like you making me go into my head, and bring out the things that I've been longing to talk about.
Yeah, man. We were kind of talking about your experience on TV sets.
Okay, it's TV. All right, TV. So I got into TV.
Yes.
So I want to talk specifically about the genre of hip hop television.
And I'll probably chop this up, you know, and make it a part 2. But go ahead.
Cool. Yeah, do what you want.
Come on.
But hip hop television also is something a category that I'm just advocating for so much stuff. But it's like hip hop television as a category just needs. Of course, I'm gonna speak from my perspective, but I feel like it should be respected a little bit more too. Shout out to all my producer friends in the industry and stuff. There's a very few, there's a small class of us who had our names on a lot of the hip hop. Yeah. The hip hop television brand names.
Sir. Yes, sir.
You talk about, like, my first time producing anything in television was I was one of the producers of BET Rap City.
Yes, sir.
The last 2 seasons. Did
you work with the mayor?
No, the last Chris? 2 seasons.
Okay, the last 2 seasons. So,
you know, I wasn't, the basement was after us. It was the last 2 seasons.
Okay, gotcha.
08. This is 08.
Gotcha.
09.
Gotcha.
Around that time. But 09 was when the Rap City show was the finale. We were the team that closed out Rap City.
Gotcha.
Shout out to the whole Rap City team.
Man, I know it was.
Yeah. So I came on. They blessed me, brought me in as one of his many producers on the TV show.
I love that.
I was one of the producers they brought on there on that last season. So there's some dope stuff on there. I mean, some of the shows that stick out to me is we did a show with Soulja Boy and KRS, right when if y'all remember, Soulja Boy and Ice-T got into.
I remember that.
Something.
I do remember that.
For me, that motivated me to say we needed to do something about it. So we wound up doing a show with KRS and Soulja Boy together.
Wow.
I don't see what it came up to, but anyway.
Yeah.
But you know, so that then. We closed that out in Atlanta, and then The Deal. There was a show called The Deal with Meth Hits and DJ Diamond Cuts. So we did that show. Then MTV came calling for me, and then I went over to MTV 2 and started producing Sucker Free, MTV 2 Sucker Free.
What?
With DJ Envy. So that
Come on, man.
I was there doing that, and then
legendary.
In 2011, I sold the show to MTV 2, and they put the Yo MTV Raps brand on it.
Gotcha.
It was called Yo MTV Raps Classic Cuts. So and then, you know, during my BET run, I worked at 106 and Park on things, and all these other things. Worked on when MTV. I did produce a couple of shows from Master Flex and Nick Cannon.
Sure.
And
did you do some stuff with Sway too?
So yeah, Sway was MTV News.
Yeah.
Sucker Free was MTV 2. So it was 2 different channels, but we all rocked together.
I got you. Yeah.
So I did stuff with MTV News. I got into the Viacom system being a videographer for MTV News. Sway, and then I eventually started produce a show with Sway. There was a show, TV show called The Breaks.
I remember that.
I did an online show called Behind the Breaks.
Okay, gotcha.
Where, I had Sway go. Every show had a theme. Hip hop journalism, DJs, boom, boom. So we did a complimentary show for each episode.
I got you.
Where I took him around to, if it was about DJs, we did a show with Red Alert and Enough and Mr. C. If it was a show about producers, we had Pete Rock. So I produced that with Sway.
I love that,
Sway
man.
Is
you know what? He is a huge figure in journalism within hip hop, and
I don't even know how to speak at this point.
I just feel like he need more credit than what he's given. He needs more flowers than what he's given. I grew up watching Sway on MTV, and his journalism and his work, his body of work that he has out there. You know, I think we got to remember he did the beef with Jay-Z and Nas.
I was there. When he did that interview with Hov and I was literally,
bro, that's legendary.
Like they were right there and I was right here.
Bro,
like,
that's legendary stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we got to remember Sway. We got to remember Sway. I know we do. For those of us who we do, but Sway's the man.
Yeah, Sway is the man. I don't even know really how to categorize him into. He's
because
just the OG.
Man, he is, man.
Like how I spoke about Ralph McDaniels to
thank you,
photographers, videos, Sway to hip hop journalism.
Come on, man.
Excuse me, he's one of those. I mean, it's Kim Osorio's, the Daytwan Thomases.
Come on, man. Yes,
all the homies.
I know Sway is like top tier in my opinion. He is, man. You know, I look at what he did, and very professional. What he did, he represents us so well too, so well. With some of the work that he did with Louis Farrakhan, that interview he did, that groundbreaking interview that he did. Let's be clear, you know, during that time, that was a beautiful interview. But go ahead, I digress, man. I had to get that off though because I'm a huge fan of Sway. I'm just saying, like when you think of journalism and hip hop, you can't forget Sway. Of course, Fab Five and Dre and all of that. Yeah, so you know.
We had on our show, so I worked with Fab Five to when I sold the Your MTV Rap show to Viacom.
Got you.
So I had the pleasure of,
bro, you've been in it.
Yeah, like I like
it's beautiful.
For whatever reason.
Yeah.
You know, call it whatever, the destiny manifest.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I've been anywhere that I had the intent of going into, I winded up in the room with
the right people at the right place. Yeah.
I wound up around Spike, Spielberg, Singleton, Hype Williams. In the music video world, Hype Williams, all of them. In the music side, Nas, my very first short film.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people still haven't seen because it's been sitting in the safe. My very first short film in 2000 stars Nas and Tracy Morgan. And I'm thinking about like when I do this exhibit, like showing it at the exhibit.
You got to be kidding me.
It's not the best acting.
I don't care though.
But it's something we just made up. This is the pleasure, the joy of having cameras.
Absolutely, man.
Around me is that you got a camera coming. Yeah. And a good friend of mine was Akinelli at the time. Still a good friend.
Yes, sir.
And he was really close with Nas, and so hanging out with him, winded up like we got up with Nas, and they was like, "Yo, I want to shoot this. I want to shoot something." So and then he knew Tracy, called Tracy, and we made up a script and shot a.
Look how dope that is, though.
Shot a short film. So I have that.
And you have that.
It's sitting. It's about 15-minute short film called Silly.
Yeah, we're gonna hold that. Hold that, brother.
That's been. I showed it once or twice.
Okay,
I know it was a hip hop film festival in 2004, maybe.
I got you.
That I think I did show it there. But it's one of them things, along with many.
Yes.
That's just sitting there. As a matter of fact, when we finish, I got my laptop. I'm going to show you something.
No doubt.
Yeah, so throughout my whole career, I've accumulated items.
Yes, sir.
Photos.
Yes.
Videos. All of this stuff of the sort. Just all my experiences.
Yeah, man.
I tend to just document whatever I'm into, whether it's just taking pictures or getting video and stuff like that. I want to jump back on what we were talking about before with the lens.
Yes, with the lens.
Because to add on what you saying about KRS, I had a conversation that's on video.
Do you really?
That I'll show you too.
Okay, cool.
That's on my YouTube channel. having the conversation with KRS-One about the lens being an element in hip hop. He completely agreed, gave examples why it's true.
Okay,
all
then.
of that. Talked to Ralph McDaniels about it.
Wow.
He agrees.
You talked to Ralph McDaniels?
All of these people about it. This is the thing.
Wow.
Who do I take all of this to? What council or committee do I take all of this to say I would like to present this as a proposal to add the lens as an element in hip hop?
Bro, you got to talk to somebody about it.
Look who I've talked to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I did a post on it. In that post, Ralph was like, yeah, that's true. And all this. Everybody says, yes, that's true.
It is true.
But who do I take my how do you do it in court? Who do I take all my evidence to say, like, okay, who do I present this to? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at in my advocacy.
Yes, sir.
I'm a videographer. I'm a cinematographer. I'm a photographer. I'm a strong advocate of the lens being a element of hip hop. And I just don't, like I said, just my own personal thing is that I don't like to be like that. What we do, even editors, like I've been a master editor for the last couple of years.
Got you.
After the pandemic.
Yeah.
I don't like how it's treated. It's treated as more service, throwaway art,
bro,
to the culture than it is probably one of the most important art forms in our culture.
And brother, it is. You make or break whatever you're filming. You make or break it. It's either good or it's horrible based off of what that editor does.
Yeah.
So it is a true art form.
Yeah, man.
It really is, to your point. So
you know, because it never really happened to me, but I've seen it happen, and once or twice, whatever. But I don't like this thing where, yo, photographer, come over here, get this picture. Yo, shoot this real quick. You know, like that whole thing where it's like, you wouldn't do that to a graffiti artist.
Nope.
You wouldn't do that
all.
to an MC.
Not at all.
You wouldn't do that to a DJ.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes DJs have their own things.
Yeah, they do.
People just go, play this track. I get that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that drives a lot of my advocacy also.
I got you. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I look at films like Watch Stacks. I don't know if you ever saw Watch Stacks about the Watts Stax Records did a big concert back in the 70s, and it was called Watch Stacks and all that.
I've heard of it.
Melvin Van Peebles was behind that also.
Legendary.
There was videographers and cinematographers shooting all that behind the scenes stuff and all that.
Wow.
So they got that on culture. We
don't talk about them enough. The Gordon Parks and Melvin Van Peebles and
there's Johnny Nunez in New York, Jamel Shabazz, Ernie Penacolis, tons of people that just Ronnie Wrights and these photographers that in my time shooting for news, we always wind up on red carpets and events together, and that clique of
it's beautiful,
the red carpet and the event photographers and the dudes that's at the concerts shooting the concerts in the pit, and all of these. It's a society. Within the culture, it's a subculture.
Yeah.
But I don't feel it's respected. As it should be.
I like that.
You understand what I'm saying? Like I
do.
said, it's kind of part of the culture and part of the art form that seems, a throwaway to most people. Given Instagrams and YouTubes and all that, I get it.
Yeah.
But we do art too.
Absolutely.
We're playing jazz with our cameras.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yeah.
Just show a little respect.
Show a little respect. There it is. So listen, T, man, this has been just absolutely wonderful. This conversation that we're having, man, or that we've had, and you know what, man, we might have to, we're going to do this again. We've already talked about it.
Yeah.
So we're going to do something else, man. But I think this right here is just the beginning of something beautiful, talking about this. And, man, you know, if nobody else ever told you, we're going to tell you here at the Ross Cloud Podcast, we value you. We thank you for your contributions to the culture, for the people, for hip-hop, and what you mean, and the value that you bring to the table for us as a people, man. It's to be respected. It's due honor. You are a king, man, and we appreciate your work, King. And, hey, man, we're going to keep pushing.
Yeah, man.
We're going to keep rising to the top, man.
No, I appreciate you.
Yeah, no doubt.
Appreciate it. Like I said, real recognize real.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
and just like this is, we ain't even plan this, but
we didn't.
Like I said, I generally speaking, I just want to meet dope people, man. Like
There
I'm sure
it is.
you do.
Right on.
And you know, I reached out to you, man.
Yeah.
Like, yo, let's, what you doing, man? Let me meet up. Let's just chop it up.
Let's do it.
You know.
And why not turn the camera on, baby? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know. And not for nothing. I mean, shit. Whenever you ready, man.
Come on, we'll do it again. Trust me.
Come on. Through everywhere you are.
Say less.
We in Greensboro.
Hey.
15 minutes away, bro.
Say less.
Anytime something happening in hip hop, let's have a let's
do it.
Have a hip hop chat.
Let's do it. I'm for it, bro. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I actually want to do some stuff outside too. So we here. I smoke cigars, so I mean, you know, I'd love to sit outside and chop it up. We have a real conversation about hip hop and just kind of build off of it, man. We can have some folks come in too. So we're gonna talk about
it. Of course.
Yes. So T, man, again, thank you, man, for gracing us with your presence, man. Truly an honor, King.
Thank you, bro.
No doubt. So listen, I hope something was said to you that can help you become a better you. Listen, this is the Ross Cloud Podcast as we navigate through the clouds of life, empowering one another. Keep being great. Peace.
Today's episode of the Ross Cloud Podcast is sponsored in part by GospelStationCharts.com, where you can view gospel radio station song charts and track the promotion of your song, such as view how many stations are playing your song and how often, including what day and time your song played. Check it out now. Visit GospelStationCharts.com.